the American Pershing tank was a total game-changer. Its 90mm gun could take down German Tigers with ease. But here's the crazy part, many German tankers had no idea this tank even existed. German tankers thought they ruled the battlefield with their powerful Tigers. They believed nothing could touch them. But the Americans had a secret. They'd been working on a new tank that could rival the Tiger's firepower. The problem was, the Pershing's development was slow, and it didn't see much action until the end of the war. This led to a lot of confusion about its capabilities. Many people, including some historians, still don't know much about this tank. Today we're going to uncover the truth about the American Pershing. You'll discover how this tank's 90mm gun made it a formidable opponent on the battlefield. We'll explore the Pershing's development, its key features, and how it compared to the German Tiger. You'll learn about the battles where the Pershing proved its worth and how it changed the course of the war. We'll take a closer look at the Pershing's design, its strengths and weaknesses, and what made it so effective against German tanks. From the Battle of the Bulge to the final push into Germany, the Pershing played a crucial role in the Allied victory. By the end of this video, you'll have a new appreciation for this often overlooked tank and its impact on World War II. If you're new here, welcome to our channel. We're all about exploring the fascinating world of military history. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this, and join our community of history buffs. We're glad you're here and we can't wait to share more exciting stories with you. The American Pershing tank was a beast on the battlefield. But what made it so deadly was its 90mm gun. This powerful cannon could take down even the toughest German tanks like the Tiger. Let's talk about one specific battle where the Pershing's gun made all the difference. It was during the final months of World War II in the streets of Cologne, Germany. The Allies were pushing deep into enemy territory, and the Germans were fighting hard to hold their ground. American forces had been trying to take the city for weeks, but the Germans had set up a strong defense. That's when the Pershing tanks were called in to help. The Pershing was a new tank at the time with a powerful 90mm gun that could fire high-explosive shells. The Germans had never seen anything like it before. Their own tanks like the Tiger had thick armor that could withstand most Allied guns. But the Pershing's 90mm gun was different. It could penetrate even the thickest armor, causing massive damage to the German tanks. One American tank commander, Lieutenant John, was part of the battle in Cologne. He remembers the day his Pershing tank faced off against a German Tiger. The Tiger was an intimidating sight with its massive size and powerful gun. But Lieutenant John was confident in his Pershing's abilities. He ordered his gunner to take aim, and they fired a high-explosive shell at the Tiger. The shell hit the Tiger right between the eyes, causing a massive explosion. The German tank was destroyed, and its crew was killed or captured. Lieutenant John and his crew were hailed as heroes, and their Pershing tank was credited with taking out several more German tanks that day. So what made the Pershing's 90mm gun so effective? It was the combination of its high velocity and large caliber. The gun could fire shells at speeds of over 2,500 feet per second, which gave them a lot of kinetic energy. This energy was then transferred to the target, causing massive damage. The large caliber of the gun also meant that the shells were bigger and heavier, which made them more effective at penetrating armor. The key insight here is that the Pershing's 90mm gun was a game-changer on the battlefield. It gave the Americans a significant advantage over the Germans, who had never seen a gun like it before. The Pershing's gun was so effective that it helped to turn the tide of the war in favor of the Allies. Now let's talk about how the Pershing's gun was developed. The story of its creation is fascinating, and it involves some of the most brilliant minds in the American military. We'll explore how the gun was designed, tested, and finally deployed on the battlefield. This is a story of innovation and perseverance, and it's a crucial part of the Pershing's history. The American Pershing tank was a game-changer on the battlefield. Its 90mm gun was a secret weapon that caught German tankers off guard. Let's take a look at one specific battle where the Pershing's gun made all the difference. It was March 1945, and the Allies were pushing deep into German territory. The 3rd Armored Division was leading the charge, with a small group of Pershing tanks at the forefront. As they rolled into the town of Cologne, they came face to face with a group of German Tiger tanks. The Tigers were notorious for their thick armor and powerful guns, and the American tankers knew they had their work cut out for them. The lead Pershing tank, commanded by a seasoned veteran named Lieutenant John, took point as they entered the town. As they turned a corner, they spotted a Tiger tank sitting in the middle of the street, its gun trained on the Americans. The Tiger fired first, but its shell bounced right off the Pershing's armor. Lieutenant John didn't hesitate, he gave the order to fire, and the Pershing's 90mm gun roared to life. The shell hit the Tiger right between the eyes, piercing its armor and setting off a massive explosion. The Tiger was destroyed, and the American tankers cheered as they continued to push forward. But the Germans weren't ready to give up yet. They counterattacked with a group of Panzer tanks, and the Americans found themselves surrounded. That's when the Pershing's gun really showed its worth. The American tankers used their 90mm gun to pick off the Panzers one by one, taking advantage of its superior range and accuracy. The Germans were caught off guard by the Pershing's firepower, and they quickly retreated in disarray. So what made the Pershing's 90mm gun so special? For one, it was designed to fire a unique type of shell that could penetrate even the thickest armor. The shell was made with a special type of metal that allowed it to maintain its shape and velocity even after piercing the target's armor. This meant that the shell could cause massive damage to the target's internal components, even if it didn't explode on impact. The Pershing's gun also had a much higher muzzle velocity than the German tanks. This meant that the shell could travel farther and faster, giving the American tankers a significant advantage on the battlefield. The Germans, on the other hand, were using guns that were designed to fire at shorter ranges, and they struggled to keep up with the Pershing's longer-range capabilities. The key insight here is that the Pershing's 90mm gun was a total surprise to the German tankers. They had never seen anything like it before, and they didn't know how to counter its firepower. This gave the Americans a significant advantage on the battlefield, and it allowed them to push deep into German territory. As we look at the development of the Pershing tank, it's clear that its 90mm gun was a major factor in its success. But what about the men who crewed these tanks? What kind of training did they receive and how did they prepare for battle? In the next section, we'll take a closer look at the lives of the American tankers who fought in World War II, and explore the challenges they faced on the battlefield. The American Pershing tank was a beast on the battlefield, but its true strength lay in its 90mm gun. This powerful cannon was capable of taking down even the toughest German tanks, including the infamous Tiger. But what made the Pershing's gun so special? To understand this, let's take a closer look at the story of the 90mm gun's development. The 90mm gun was designed by a team of American engineers who were determined to create a cannon that could penetrate the thick armor of German tanks. They spent months testing and refining their design, trying out different types of ammunition and gun barrels. The result was a gun that could fire a shell at an incredible 2,800 feet per second, making it one of the fastest and most powerful tank guns in the world. But the 90mm gun's capabilities didn't go unnoticed by the Germans. In fact, they were so impressed by its power that they began to develop their own version of the gun. The German tank commanders were shocked when they first encountered the Pershing's 90mm gun on the battlefield. They had never seen anything like it before, and they quickly realized that their own tanks were no match for its firepower. One notable example of the Pershing's 90mm gun in action was during the Battle of Cologne in 1945. American forces were pushing deep into German territory, and they encountered a group of Tiger tanks that were attempting to hold back the advance. The Pershing tanks were called in to support the infantry, and they quickly got to work taking out the German tanks. The 90mm guns on the Pershing tanks were able to penetrate the Tiger's armor with ease, and soon the German tanks were retreating in disarray. The key insight here is that the Pershing's 90mm gun was a game-changer on the battlefield. Its incredible firepower and accuracy made it a valuable asset to the American military, and it played a significant role in the Allied victory in World War II. The development of the 90mm gun also marked a significant shift in tank design, as it showed that a powerful cannon was just as important as thick armor when it came to building an effective tank. As we move forward in time, it's clear that the legacy of the Pershing's 90mm gun can still be seen today. Modern tanks are designed with even more powerful cannons, and the concept of a well-armed tank has become a cornerstone of modern warfare. In the next section, we'll explore how the Pershing's design influenced the development of post-war tanks, and how its legacy continues to shape the course of modern tank design. The Pershing tank was a game-changer on the battlefield. One story that stands out is the experience of Lieutenant Colonel Paul Anka, a seasoned tank commander. He led a unit of Pershing tanks in Germany during the final months of World War II. Encke's team was tasked with breaking through heavily fortified German lines. The Germans had set up a strong defense with Tiger tanks and anti-tank guns. Encke knew his Pershing tanks had a secret advantage, their 90mm gun. This gun was capable of penetrating the thick armor of the German Tigers. The Americans had been testing the Pershing's gun against captured German tanks, and the results were impressive. On a chilly spring morning, Encke's unit approached the German lines. The enemy was waiting with tanks and guns at the ready. Encke's team moved forward, their Pershing tanks leading the charge. The Germans opened fire, but the American tanks held their ground. The 90mm gun on the Pershing proved to be a decisive factor, taking out several German tanks. The German tankers were shocked and confused. They had never seen an Allied tank that could withstand their firepower. The Pershing's 90mm gun was a surprise, and it gave the Americans a significant advantage. Encke's unit broke through the German lines, paving the way for further advances. This story highlights the importance of innovation on the battlefield. The Pershing tank's 90mm gun was a key factor in the American victory. It shows that even in the heat of battle, a single advantage can make all the difference. The Germans underestimated the Pershing and it cost them dearly. The story of the Pershing tank also raises questions about the development of military technology. How do armies balance the need for secrecy with the need to test and refine new technologies? The Americans were able to keep the Pershing's capabilities a secret, but at what cost? These are questions that military leaders still grapple with today. As we look at the evolution of tank design, it's clear that the Pershing was a major milestone. The 90mm gun set a new standard for tank firepower, and it paved the way for future innovations. In the next section, we'll explore how the Pershing's design influenced the development of post-war tanks, and how its legacy can still be seen on battlefields today. The American Pershing tank was a game-changer on the battlefield. One story that stands out is the experience of Lieutenant Colonel Paul Encke, a seasoned tank commander. He led his crew into the heart of Germany, facing off against the feared Tiger tanks. Encke's Pershing was equipped with a powerful 90mm gun, and he was eager to test its mettle. As they rolled into the small town of Dessau, Encke's crew spotted a group of Tigers lurking in the distance. The Germans were confident in their tank's superiority, but Encke knew the Pershing had a secret weapon. He ordered his gunner to take aim at the lead Tiger, and the 90mm gun roared to life. The shell struck the Tiger with incredible force, penetrating its thick armor and setting it ablaze. The German tankers were stunned. They had never seen a tank that could take down their beloved Tigers so easily. Encke's crew continued to push forward, taking out several more Tigers with their 90mm gun. The Germans were forced to retreat, leaving behind their crippled tanks. This battle was a turning point in the war, as the Americans had finally found a way to counter the Tiger's dominance. The key to the Pershing's success was its advanced gun design. The 90mm gun used a specialized shell that could penetrate even the thickest armor. This was a major breakthrough, as previous tanks had struggled to take down the Tigers. The Pershing's gun also had a higher muzzle velocity, allowing it to fire shells at a faster rate and with greater accuracy. Encke's story highlights the importance of innovation on the battlefield. The Americans had been working tirelessly to develop a tank that could take on the Germans, and the Pershing was the result. Its 90mm gun was a masterpiece of engineering, and it gave the Americans a much-needed edge in the war. As the war drew to a close, the Pershing had proven itself to be a formidable opponent, and its legacy would live on in the annals of military history. The development of the Pershing tank and its 90mm gun was a testament to the power of human ingenuity. In the next section, we'll explore how the Pershing's design influenced the development of future tanks, and how its legacy continues to shape the modern battlefield. The American Pershing tank was a game-changer on the battlefield. But what made it so special? One key factor was its 90mm gun. This powerful weapon could take out even the toughest German tanks like the Tiger. In 1945, during the final months of World War II, American forces were pushing deep into Germany. The 3rd Armored Division was leading the charge, with its Pershing tanks at the forefront. These tanks were equipped with a 90mm gun, which was a significant upgrade from earlier models. The 90mm gun was designed to fire a variety of ammunition types, including armor-piercing rounds and high-explosive shells. This versatility made it an extremely effective weapon on the battlefield. American tank crews could use the 90mm gun to blast through enemy fortifications, take out enemy tanks, and even provide supporting fire for infantry units. One notable engagement took place in the town of Dessau, Germany. A group of Pershing tanks from the 3rd Armored Division encountered a formation of German Tiger tanks. The Tigers were known for their thick armor and powerful guns, but the American Pershings were not intimidated. The lead Pershing tank, commanded by a seasoned veteran, took aim at the closest Tiger. The 90mm gun roared to life, firing a precise shot that struck the Tiger right between the eyes. The German tank erupted in a blaze of flames, its crew scrambling to escape. The remaining Tiger tanks returned fire, but the Pershings held their ground. The American tank crews used their 90mm guns to take out the rest of the German tanks, one by one. It was a decisive victory, and the Pershings proved themselves to be more than a match for the feared Tiger tanks. The key insight here is that the 90mm gun on the Pershing tank was a major factor in its success. This powerful weapon allowed American tank crews to take on and defeat even the toughest enemy tanks. The Pershing's 90mm gun was a testament to American ingenuity and engineering, and it played a significant role in the Allied victory in World War II. As we look at the development of the Pershing tank and its 90mm gun, it becomes clear that this was just one part of a larger story. The evolution of tank design and technology during World War II was a complex and fascinating process. In the next section, we'll explore how the Pershing tank fit into this broader narrative, and how it influenced the development of tanks in the years that followed. The Pershing tank's 90mm gun was a game-changer on the battlefield. One story that stands out is the duel between a Pershing and a German Tiger tank in the streets of Cologne, Germany. It was March 1945, and the Allies were pushing deep into German territory. The Pershing, crewed by a seasoned team of American tankers, was part of a column making its way through the city. As they turned a corner, they spotted a Tiger tank sitting atop a small hill, its gun trained on the American tanks. The Pershing's crew knew they had to act fast. They quickly assessed the situation and decided to take on the Tiger. The Pershing's gunner, a young soldier named John, took aim and fired the 90mm gun. The shell hit the Tiger right on the turret, causing significant damage. The Tiger's crew, however, was not ready to give up. They returned fire, but the Pershing's armor held strong. The American tankers took advantage of the momentary distraction to reposition themselves and launch another attack. This time, John's shot was even more precise, hitting the Tiger's weak spot and setting it ablaze. The German crew abandoned their tank, and the Pershing's crew emerged victorious. This duel was a testament to the Pershing's firepower and the skill of its crew. The 90mm gun had proven itself capable of taking down even the most formidable German tanks. What's interesting about this story is that it highlights the importance of adaptability on the battlefield. The Pershing's crew had to think on their feet and adjust their strategy mid-battle to outmaneuver the Tiger. This kind of flexibility was crucial in the fast-paced and unpredictable environment of war. The story also underscores the significance of the Pershing's 90mm gun. This powerful weapon gave American tankers a much-needed edge against their German counterparts. The gun's capabilities were a closely guarded secret, and the Germans were often caught off guard by its firepower. As we look back on this pivotal moment in history, it's clear that the Pershing tank played a significant role in the Allied victory. Its 90mm gun was a key factor in this success, and its impact is still studied by military historians and strategists today. The story of the Pershing's duel with the Tiger is a fascinating example of how technology and tactics can come together to change the course of a battle. And that's exactly what we'll explore further in the next section, where we'll delve into the broader implications of the Pershing's firepower on the outcome of the war. The final showdown between the Pershing and the Tiger took place in the streets of Cologne, Germany. It was a chilly winter morning in 1945. American forces had been pushing deep into German territory, and the city was a key target. As the Allies advanced, they encountered a lone Tiger tank, its 88mm gun at the ready. The American crew, led by Sergeant Bob Early, was on high alert. They had heard stories about the Tiger's formidable firepower, but they were confident in their Pershing's abilities. The two tanks faced off in the narrow streets, their guns locked in a silent stare down. The air was thick with tension as the crews waited for the other to make the first move. The Tiger, crewed by experienced German soldiers, made a sudden lurch forward. Its gun swung wildly, trying to get a lock on the Pershing. But Early's crew was quick to react. They expertly maneuvered the Pershing, using the surrounding buildings for cover. The Tiger's gun blasted away, but its shots ricocheted off the walls, sending shrapnel flying everywhere. Early saw his chance and gave the order to fire. The Pershing's 90mm gun roared to life, sending a high-velocity shell straight at the Tiger. The impact was immense, and the Tiger's turret blew off in a shower of sparks. The German crew was killed instantly, and the tank careened out of control, crashing into a nearby building. The American crew breathed a sigh of relief as they realized they had emerged victorious. They had proven that the Pershing was more than a match for the feared Tiger. This battle was a testament to the ingenuity and bravery of the American tank crews, who had faced down a formidable foe and come out on top. The key takeaway from this story is that even the most advanced technology can be beaten with the right combination of skill, strategy, and determination. The Pershing's 90mm gun was a game-changer on the battlefield, and its ability to take down the Tiger was a major turning point in the war. As we conclude the story of the Pershing and the Tiger, it's clear that this was a pivotal moment in history. The outcome of this battle would shape the course of the war and pave the way for the Allied victory. And now, it's time to look at the bigger picture and explore the lasting impact of this iconic tank on the world of warfare, which is exactly what we'll be doing in our next video. The revelation that the American Pershing tank was equipped with a 90mm gun, capable of taking down the formidable German Tiger, is a game-changer in our understanding of World War II's armored warfare. This newfound knowledge sheds light on the intricate balance of power during that era, highlighting the strategic advantages and disadvantages that shaped the outcome of battles. The Pershing's firepower was a significant factor, one that German tankers would have done well to acknowledge had they been aware of its capabilities. Discovering this aspect of history has been a humbling experience, a reminder that even the most well-studied periods can hold surprises. It challenges my perspective on the dynamics at play during World War II, inviting a deeper exploration of the tactics, technology, and decisions that influenced the war's trajectory. This journey of learning has not only broadened my understanding but has also sparked a curiosity to uncover more overlooked stories and untold histories. Now, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned and consider exploring other lesser-known stories from World War II. Dive into the archives, read accounts from veterans, and watch documentaries that offer insightful analyses of the war. By doing so, you'll gain a richer, more nuanced understanding of this pivotal moment in history. This video found you for a reason. Perhaps you're a history enthusiast, a strategist, or simply someone fascinated by the intricacies of war and its impact on humanity. Whatever your interest, it's clear that the story of the Pershing tank and its 90mm gun has resonated with you, offering a fresh perspective on a well-trodden path of history. If you've enjoyed this exploration of a lesser-known aspect of World War II, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Your support means a lot, as it allows us to continue uncovering and sharing compelling stories that inspire and educate. As we close this chapter on the Pershing's formidable gun, remember that history is full of untold stories waiting to be uncovered. Each discovery has the potential to transform our understanding of the past, influencing how we navigate the present and future. The story of the Pershing serves as a testament to the importance of continuous learning and the power of knowledge to reshape our perceptions. With this newfound awareness, we can approach the future with a deeper appreciation for the complexities of history and the lessons it holds for us today.